G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. Just past 5 p.m, 2nd of October 2014. 19.2 degrees Celsius inside temperature, 35% relative humidity, 1014.3 millibars. It's good that it's 35% relative humidity. If it's below 20%, the air is too dry to have a safe hazard reduction burn. Because if the fire sucks really dry air, it becomes very hot, very intense, very fast. Isn't that right, Eric? Hey? What do you think? Yes, what you think is you can't eat a camera. Never mind, you stay here and I'll make a movie. Outside air temperature, 15 degrees. Like I said, if the air temperature is above 20 degrees, it's possibly too hot to have a safe hazard reduction burn. Soil moisture profile gauge. If it's overtopping this 6-inch almost parallel gauge, the driveway's a mud pie. At the moment, we're sitting on about 45% soil moisture profile. 1.5 inches is 25%. 1.2 inches is 20%. If the soil moisture profile is below 20%, the fuel burden on the ground itself is too dry to be safe for a hazard reduction burn. And it'll get too intense, too fast, too hot. You may lose control of it. If the wind is more than 20 kilometres per hour, your fire can run faster than you can to go and get a backpack and try and put it out. At the moment, we have light airs. If the wind direction changes by more than 20 degrees per second, then you don't know where the fire's going to go. Even if it is only at 5 kilometres an hour, it can go just about anywhere. So, directional change of more than 10 degrees a second, or i.e. 180 degrees in 10 seconds, not safe to light up. Finally, if the wind direction is changing for more than 20% of a circle, that is 72 degrees, 20% of a circle, you'd agree with that, wouldn't you, Eric? Yes, 72 degrees is 20% of a circle. So if your wind direction is changing by that much and staying in that direction and then going back somewhere else within 20 seconds, probably not safe to burn. So we're getting to a rule of 20s. Everything comes to 20. 20% humidity, 20 degrees temperature, 20 kilometres per hour, 20% soil moisture profile, 20 degree wind shift, 20% of a circle wind shift. Yeah, it all comes down to a rule of 20, so it's easy to understand. Here we see the burn map, and I'm just about to do burn 36. It's taken me 2.5 hours to prepare the area, and at the moment, with the sun still 15 degrees or so above the horizon, the surrounding countryside is still brightly lit, although I'm in shade. What that means is that you've got little light thermal bubbles still breaking off all around my place from the sunlit areas. And when a thermal bubble breaks off, essentially what happens is the warm air at ground level floats up, creating a low pressure zone at ground level. That low pressure zone at ground level sucks higher pressure air in from all directions. So as the thermal goes up, air rushes in. And that means as thermal bubbles are popping off and flying up into the sky, it's pretty unpredictable as to what direction the wind is going to be from on the ground. So it's a pretty good idea to wait until the thermal activity ceases so that the wind can settle down and you can decide where it's actually coming from when there are no thermal bubbles distorting the picture at ground level. So therefore I've got time to make this little movie showing you, well, essentially out on this side we have burn 35, and on this side we have burn 36, and as you can see I've been raking the trees, pre-positioning every bucket I've got on hand. Is 230 litres is pre-positioned ready to go. Some of it for the wet line around the outside edge. There was an hour spent raking the edge and raking all the stuff that I really don't want to burn. So the idea is to rake the fuel away from what you can't afford to burn and then wet it down. This is a tactic or a technique which I've been using for, well, 4 months now. June, July, August, September. We're now into October. The first burn on this series was the 4th of June. This is burn 36. And some dip torch bottles ready to go there. It's an interesting idea, but many moons ago, when I was but a student, failing at the lowest level of mathematics known to mankind, I did pick up the fact that for a statistically valid survey, one needs a minimum universe of 33 samples. And if you want to cover your bets, it's a very clever idea to get a 10% overshoot. So 36 samples gives a valid research project its minimum statistical universe. Anything smaller than 33 to 36 samples, it's anecdotes. It's not a research project. So my contention is that if I don't make a mess of this one, it means 36 burns in a row conducted by one person in a fire trap with nothing but buckets, a garden watering can and 2 backpacks, using soft drink bottles for drip torch fuel, containers, distributors, applicators. And my theory is if I can get away with it under these conditions, then not too many people have got the excuse that, oh, I haven't got enough equipment, I need too many other people to help me do it, I don't know how, I don't know where to start. The theory behind this series of hazard reduction burn solo operation videos is to show what I've learned in 4 months and pass that knowledge on. So we shall see what we shall see. Ideally, tomorrow there's going to be a red line around it and a number on it, and this will become a statistically valid piece of research. What do you think? Would you like a biscuit? Eh? Would you like a biscuit? Would you like to consider the burn program? Or do you think the biscuit will be enough for you? You're a clever boy, aren't you? Eh? Yes. Eric the firefighting swamp wallaby. Aren't you, mate? Yes, you're very brave. Okay, so I'll go and start pouring out the water, and you just sit back here and enjoy your biscuit and keep an eye on the hut. Okay? It's all right, you don't need to run away. There's nothing scary. That's a boy. That's a good boy. That be enough. It always helps when the wildlife is on side. At least that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And we've still got 15 degrees under the trees, and the swamp wallaby looking after the hut. Okay, 6 o'clock. I've laid me wet line after girdling the raked tree bases with water. There's almost zero wind, so I'm going to be fairly conventional. Light the fire in the top corner up against the wet line on the 1920 vintage fence, and that way it can burn in, and I'll girdle around it and get the bottom edge lit. It can burn back up, and then I'll finish by coming back up here at the end of it. If it all works, we shall see. Oh yeah, and as required under the Rural Fires Act of 1997, here is my valid permit, which is good for another 8 days, which will cover this bit of ground. And like a good little landowner, I will keep it on my person in my pocket while conducting the burn. You have to do that, just in case somebody decides that you've got smoke coming up and they've made a mess of their paperwork and they don't know what you're doing and they show up with the police to arrest you. You've got to have your fire permit on you all the time while you're burning in the permit season. Okay, 13 minutes past 6, and I've been all the way around the perimeter, lit the whole thing up. If the sea breeze comes in now, it doesn't really matter because it's just going to push it back onto an already blacked out area up here at the fence. But I don't think I'm going to have too much problem with that. I have a feeling this one's going to be okay. At least, that's the theory. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. I better get back into it. Now that's the thing you don't often see. A little local fire tornado. See the smoke starting to go in circles there? It's just been pushed out. By the coming of the sea breeze, but that was just a little bit exotic. All right, we're on again. Look at that, a flame tornado. If it's like this at 12 degrees and 35% humidity with zero outside wind, could you imagine what it would be like on a breakout day? Okay. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Here endeth the video of the 36th burn. Look at that. Isn't that great? Okay. Ciao.